Hello and welcome to Caring for Me, Caring for You, a thought and a prayer for the week. I'm Greg Johnson, and I'm so grateful to have this moment with you once again. This is a very special month. It's December, and many religions all over the world are celebrating very wonderful holidays. And so it only seems right that we talk about something that is so important to all of us. When so many people are praying, are meditating, are spending times in reflection, and awaiting great times of celebration. There is a high spiritual energy in the world. And I always say to people, no matter what your present religious tradition might be, or you may not have one. You may be someone who's been wounded by a religious tradition and are looking for other traditions that speak to you and in which you feel comfortable. Well, this is a time of high spiritual energy because when so many people are praying and meditating, spending time reflecting, planning into a new calendar year, but also a new year within the Christian church, certainly. So it's a time of preparation for many religious traditions, and that means people are spending time with their spiritual selves. And remember, we always talk about that. We are not human beings trying to have a spiritual experience. No, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Yes, our body is that human experience, but into it goes our spiritual self, in whom we live and move and have our being, that spiritual essence, that one presence and that one power, by whatever name you may use it. The body, that's just our temporary home. If we were going to the moon, we'd have a moon suit, but we'd be inside of it. Well, it's the same situation I like to think of when we're talking about this particular concept, that we are not human beings trying to have a spiritual experience, but rather we're spiritual beings having a human experience. But within each and every one of us is that spark of the divine waiting to come forth. And in that spark is the Creator, the one who breathes us, the one who created us, the one who beats our heart. We don't do any of that. But we are privileged to have that going on in our lives as we go forth, learning those things which we have chosen to come down and learn. I'm using that particular phrase. Now, at this time of year, there are many celebrations going on, and today is a particularly wonderful example of that because there are two very important things happening of two different religious traditions, and I'm going to go to those in a moment, but I want to go back in this past week on December 8th. On December 8th, in the Buddhist tradition, it is Bodhi Day, Bodhi, Bodhi Day, and it's Siddhartha Gautama. That is the name of the person whom we refer to as the Buddha. And December 8th is considered the day on which his enlightenment occurred, his birthday of enlightenment. And so it's celebrated, and I'm going to read this piece because I want to make sure I say it correctly. Celebrations might involve meditation, visiting to a temple or a monastery, candles, eating rice and milk. It is commonly celebrated on December 8th. Now, I think it's very interesting. We had the word candles, and you're going to see why I'm talking about that, because the things that we share in common, what are the candles? They are light in darkness. There are illumination. There is that wonderfulness of coming out of the darkness into the light. And each of the traditions shares that. Now, today, December 14th, this morning, in churches all over the world who are Christian churches, they are going to be celebrating the third Sunday in Advent. And that is always known as Gaudete, Gaudete. And Gaudete means rejoice. You see, in the Christian tradition, we have the Advent candles. There are 4 of them, and the Christ candle for Christmas Day is in the middle. But there are 3 purple candles, and they represent hope, faith, and peace. Solemn issues, solemn thoughts, times and thoughts for meditation on hope, faith, and peace. But today, it is a pink candle, for it is the day of joy, and it's often been said that because Advent, now if we look out on the streets, we certainly don't see people particularly being penitent or using it as a time of reflection. It seems to be an awful lot of parties and celebrations, sometimes being Christmas far before Christmas. But I'm not going into that, but I'm simply saying that in the church liturgy, in the church world, there are 3 Sundays that are reflective and really far more penitent in nature. But today, the 3rd Sunday in Advent is Gaudete, and it means to rejoice. And so it has a beautiful pink candle, and there are very happy songs from the Advent season that are sung. And of course, the most famous is O Come, Emmanuel. Rejoice, rejoice. We sing that each week during Advent in our Hymns by Request program on Thursday, as many of you know. That's the first celebration going on today here in Christian churches all over the world. This evening at sundown is the beginning of Hanukkah, the Jewish celebration in which they are celebrating the Second Temple. The Maccabees have fought wars and have come back, and they too have candles. We have the Buddhists had the candle for the day of his enlightenment. We in the Christian church have the Advent calendar, the Advent wreath. The Jewish folks have the menorah, and there are 9 candles in that, representing the incredible miracle in that temple. Supplies were very low, and there was just a little bit of oil. But that oil was sufficient for 8 days. And so the center candle is lighted. Now it's called the menorah. There are 9 places for candles. In the middle is the candle known as the shamash. And I love that thought. Listen to me. What happens when you light that candle? It is the candle from which you light others as the days go on, one by one, beginning from the right and going to the 8th candle on the left. The shamash lights the candle. Can we be shamash people? No matter what your religion might be. Can we be shamash in the world today? May the light in us light others, no matter of what their religion may be or not be. But can we show light, and in that light show love? It's a beautiful, beautiful tradition. So Hanukkah this evening, and to our wonderful Jewish friends, we say Good Yontif or Chag Sameach. After Christmas, on December 26th, once again, we have Kwanzaa, and they too have a menorah shape called the Kinara. And it is made up of 7 candles. There is a black candle in the middle, which again is the one from which the others are lighted. And in this particular case, the ones to the left side are red, the struggles, the difficulties, literally the blood that has been shed. And on the right are 3 green candles for hope and possibilities. So you see, within each and every one, we're talking about light. We've reflected on the darkness, the dark night of the soul, the difficult problems. And as caregivers, we're living in those issues very often. but by taking a moment in whatever tradition might be yours, of just lighting a candle for a moment for your care recipient and yourself, having a moment to see the light of the love between the two of you, light leading the way when so often we feel, I don't know where we're going. But knowing that that power and presence within you, by whatever name you may call it, in a formalized way or in a way of exploration, God, using the 12 steps, God, as you understand that word or don't understand it today, and we're never going to understand the whole thing. That's the mystery. That's the wonder of it, and it's found in every theology. But this is the time of remembering. It's not all darkness, and one little candle can obliterate the darkness. This is the time of light, and I pray that you will take moments to see that light, light in memories, light in things that may have happened just in the day, light within your heart, and light within the heart of your loved one for whom you are caring so boldly and so bravely. Light, spiritual energy. What does that tell us? You are not alone, nor am I. That's the gift of inviting the spiritual into our lives, reconnecting with the source energy, the theological essence, if it be for you, but knowing that none of us, that we are not alone. And we give thanks for that. And I hope you do as well. Now tonight, or I should say today, because it's morning when I'm taping this, but in honor of the fact that this evening is going to be Hanukkah, and normally when the candles are lighted, prayers are said. There are 3 of them, but I'm going to share with you 2 of them. Whatever your faith tradition may be, you will hear words of gratitude for the miracles that were happening that brought about the Hanukkah, the Second Temple, going back to Jerusalem, which was so important. There are many things that you can read. The Bible tells us many of those things, and I urge you to take a look at them. But this evening, to our Jewish friends, we say Good Yontif, Shalom, and I'm going to read 2 of the prayers. The first one, and I'll read it first in Hebrew and then in English. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotov v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Blessed are you, O God, ruler of the universe, who makes us holy through your commandments and commands us to light the Hanukkah lights. And then the other that I want to share. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehekiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, O God, ruler of the universe, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this season. And together we say, Amen. Thank you for being with me this day. I hope you have learned something and perhaps relearned something that you knew before. This is a time of great spiritual energy. Be refreshed by it. Be blessed by it. Be encouraged by it. And remember, it's not out here. Life is within, where it was given to each of us. And as we always say, onward in love and caregiving. Namaste. God bless, and I'll see you real soon. Thank you.